I am proud to present The Muckster Show. Our host just may be the most intelligent and witty person on YouTube. I am surprised he has not been snapped up by Fox News. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him, I can't live without him. Here's Muckster.
Hello, people. So, I haven't talked about music for a while, and I thought I'd talk about one of my favorites, Harry Chapin. I always remember the first time I heard or saw Harry. It was on the Tonight Show. I think I was still in high school, and he was the musical guest that night. And I imagine most people have heard Taxi. That was the song that made him famous. He did Taxi on Johnny Carson. And I always remember watching that and thinking, wow, this guy is good. I'd like to see him again. And I was watching the Tonight Show the next night. And Johnny Carson said, you know, we had a singer on here last night and we got so many calls about him that we decided to have him here again tonight. And that was Harry. So yeah, I ended up buying Harry's album, and I did see him in concert. And I'm going to see if I can get away with playing some of his stuff and talking about it. See if we can get past the copyright police. Hello, Donna. Oh, and I forgot to let me wanted to need to bring another video up here. Yeah. Okay, so I have some clips of a couple of his songs here. I want to mention about them. The first part is the song that made him famous, and it is Taxi. I have a couple of comments to make about it.
It was raining hard in Frisco. I needed one more fare to make my night. A lady up ahead waved to flag me down. She got in at the light. Oh, where you going to, my lady blue? It's a shame you ruined your gown in the rain. She just looked out the window. She said 16 Parkside Lane.
Okay, so let me say this. There's I've heard a lot of times people say that this song was biographical. If you listen to the whole song, it goes on to where basically he picks up his old girlfriend while he's driving the taxi and remembering their old days together and stuff. If you don't know the song, go and look it up. And it's obviously on YouTube. But I want to mention Harry. When I saw him in concert, he said the song wasn't really biographical. He was living in San Francisco and trying to make it as a singer, and he wasn't making a lot of money. And he got his taxi license and was going to start driving taxi. And this song was really an imagining of, wouldn't it be funny if I'm driving the taxi and I would pick up my old girlfriend. But if I remember correctly, he never actually started driving taxi because just then his career started taking off and he didn't have to. But let's continue on a bit.
Something inside me, not what my life's about. 'Cause I've been letting my outside tide me over till my time runs out.
Okay, I wanted to play that little part there where it gets to that really high voice. Now we're going to move on to another song of his. The next song is called Mr. Tanner. And again, now Mr. Tanner was supposedly based on a real person. It's a guy who ran a dry cleaner, I believe, and he would sing at like the local church and stuff, but he never had the nerve to try to become a pro singer. But I'm going to play you a little bit of that.
Mr. Tanner was a cleaner from a town in the Midwest, and of all the cleaning shops around, he'd made his the best. But he also was a baritone who sang while hanging clothes. He practiced scales while pressing tails and sang at local shows. His friends and neighbors praised the voice that poured out from his throat. They said that he should use his gift instead of cleaning coats. But music was his life, it was not his livelihood, and it made him feel so happy, and it made him feel so good. And he sang from his heart, and he sang from his soul. He did not know how well he sang, it just made him whole.
I wanted to point out that
very late
sweet,
at night when the shop was dark and closed.
that sweet baritone voice. There'll be more of it here.
He sang softly to himself as he sorted through the clothes. Music was his life, it was not his livelihood, and it made him feel so happy. It made him feel so good, and he sang from his heart, and he sang from his soul, and he did not know how well he sang. It just made him whole.
Okay. I have one more. It's kind of a novelty song he did called 30,000 Pounds of Bananas. And this was also supposedly taken from a true story of a truck that wrecked in Cradle, Pennsylvania, that smeared bananas all over the highway. And I have a particular reason for wanting to play a little bit of that. Let me get this to you.
It was just after dark when the truck started down the hill that leads into Scranton, Pennsylvania, carrying 30,000 pounds of bananas. Carrying 30,000 pounds, headed Big John of bananas. Hey, about 30,000 pounds of banana. Yes, just about 30,000 pounds. We met again, John of bananas.
Okay. Well, the reason I played those three songs, now you know in Taxi where there was that like soprano voice in it, and then that next song, Mr. Tanner, had that sweet baritone voice, and then in this song, there was just that little bit where he said, "Sing it, Big John," and it was that bass voice going, "Oh, bananas." Well, all three of those were sung by the same guy, Big John Wallace, who was with Harry the whole time, you know, until Harry's death. He had an 8-octave range. It was just kind of amazing. And I've mentioned about him before, and I always wanted to do a video about him. But yeah. So anytime if you listen to Harry's music and you hear those voices, just remember it all comes from this one guy. And I did want to mention a couple other songs of his. Like you said, Donna, Cats in the Cradle. Now you called it his most famous. I don't know. I think Taxi was probably his most famous, but Cats in the Cradle, maybe. And again, he and Ernie, the story behind Cats in the Cradle is it was a poem that his wife wrote, basically talking about Harry being always out on the road and too busy for his own son. And Harry put it to music, and it also gave Harry something to think about. And I know, I remember seeing an interview with Harry's son, and he says very often people will come up to him and say, "Your song changed my life," because their father heard the song and realized that they were spending all their time at work when they should be worried about their kids. Or I actually know of somebody in particular, a cousin of mine, who is retired Air Force colonel. He said he was in the Air Force, and he has 3 daughters. I'm not sure if he had all 3 of them at the time. But, you know, he was real big on climbing the ladder and stuff. And right at the time, he was considering whether or not to take a posting out of the country. And he heard Cats in the Cradle, and it made him decide to stick with the domestic post so he could be with his daughters. So that song changed lives. Another song I want to mention, it's actually my song of his, my favorite song of his. It touched me the most. And I'll play it, and I guess I'll probably pause it at a couple of points to see if if we keep the copyright police from coming after me if I do commentary. But it's called "Flowers Are Red," and here we go.
The little boy went first day of school. He got some crayons and he started to draw. He put colors all over the paper, for colors was what he saw. And the teacher said, "What you doing, young man?" "I'm painting flowers," he said. She said, "It's not the time for art, young man. And anyway, flowers are green and red. They're the time for everything, young man, and the way it should be done. You've got to show concern for everyone else, for you're not the only one." And she said, "Flowers are red, young man, and green leaves are green. There's no need to see flowers any other way than the way they always have been seen." But the little boy said, "There are so many colors in the rainbow, so many colors in the morning sun, so many colors in a flower, and I see everyone."
So let me tell you about this song, the way it came about. Harry, one day, his secretary came to him with her kid's report card. And you know how in the elementary school, they always put little comments on the report card. You know, Nerdy Joe talks too much. Donna needs to assert herself, whatever. I can tell you, my report cards, almost it said throughout the whole 6 years of elementary, I kept getting, "Danny would do so much better if he would just apply himself." But the reason this song in particular appeals to me, though, too, is, I started saying, so the secretary showed him her son's report card, and it said something like, "Little Billy marches to the beat of his own drummer, but don't worry, by the end of the year, we'll have him marching in line with everybody else." And that made the mother mad. It offended Harry, and he ended up writing this song about it. And what I started to say is that I felt like this song was me because I was the same way. I wasn't an art kid painting flowers, but I always felt like the teachers were trying to put me in the box with everybody else, and I always resisted that. So anyway, that's what this teacher's doing to this kid. He wants to paint flowers the way he wants to, and she's saying, "No, you got to have your flowers in neat little lines, and you got to be like everybody else." So let's keep listening.
The teacher said, "You're sassy. There's ways that things should be. And you'll paint flowers the way they are. So repeat after me." And she said, "Flowers are red, young man, and green leaves are green. There's no need to see flowers any other way than the way they always have been seen." But the little boy said, "There are so many colors in the rainbow, so many colors in the morning sun, so many colors in the flower, and I see everyone."
Yep, my kind of kid. Fuck you, I'll do the flowers my way.
him in the corner. She said, it's for your own good, and you won't come out till you get it right, and are responding like you should. Well, finally he got lonely, frightened thought filled his head, and he went up to the teacher, and this is what he said. And he said, flowers are red, and green leaves are green. There's no need to see flowers any other way than the way they always have been seen.
So the bitch broke him. And again, I gotta tell you, this song just means so much to me because I had a teacher the one year as a punishment. She put me in the back of the class, and then she actually decided, kind of like, how this one said the teacher put him in the corner. Well, this teacher took me and took my desk. I was like, I don't know, 6 or 10 feet, however big the room was, behind the final row. She was, putting me off by myself like that to try to punish me. She didn't realize that I was always somebody that didn't mind being alone. I actually used to do things like I'd hang little signs on my desk and stuff, Yeah, she never broke me like this kid was broken, but she sure as hell fucking tried, and I felt like they were doing that to me the whole time I was in school. Kept wanting me to fit into that, those same pegs as everybody else. I feel like this song should be played to every person that goes, to school to become a teacher. But anyway, let's listen to the rest of the song. The kid's now saying he's going to paint his flowers like everybody else.
Time went by like it always does, and they moved to another town. And the little boy went to another school, and this is what he had found. The teacher there was smiling. She said painting should be fun, and there are so many colors in a flower, so let's use every one. But that little boy painted flowers in neat rows of green and red, and when the teacher asked him why, this is what he said. And he said, flowers are red, and green leaves are green. There's no need to see flowers any other way than the way they always have been seen.
I just feel like there are a lot of teachers out there like that. Just destroyed that kid's soul, Anyway, that's my little bit on Harry Chapin and on Big John Wallace. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That's all I got to say about that. Thanks for listening.
And that's the way it is.
Well, that was disappointing.